All right, here we go. Diving right back in, page 14. I did a bit more. I did a bit more kind of work on this panel, and where am I? If I pull the pencil layer off, you can kind of see where I am. I need to get into panel 3. I did a bit of work on panel 3 as well. I'll make sure I'm using the right ink. I'm on the right layer. I was just looking at some stuff on Twitter. That's your problem, Peter. But it was like a weird conflict. And from what I understood, it kind of started with Donald DeLay retweeting. Well, let's go back even further. It starts with this guy named Tyler, who's a YouTuber. And Tyler has created a comic called The Girl with the Mega Fists. Now, when I say Tyler has created a comic, he's on a second volume. The second volume is at least 150 pages. If you check out there's a video that he did about it. The first volume is 200 pages or something. And he's done Kickstarters for both, and he's in the publishing, like his civilian job is to do something that has to do with publishing. So he's kind of in that realm already. And said, here are some reasons why your stuff ain't selling. And EVS, Ethan Van Sciver, who I quite like actually. So nobody, hope nobody like goes, oh, this guy's he hates Ethan Van Sciver. He's part of one of the many, many, many anti-Comicsgate jerks that there are out there. It's not me, I swear to God. I quite like him. And I've got 19 pages of supported crowdfunded comics. Not 19 crowdfunded comics, 19 pages on Indiegogo alone of these crowdfunded books. And I actually don't own either of the books in question. When I say either of the books in question, I'm actually also talking about Gemshock is also included in there. So I guess, I don't know, somehow it came down to a really incomprehensible argument of, is Tyler any good? Which EVS was really nasty about him, and I don't understand why. And then, and it somehow, and I guess what I finally, what I understand now, just from a tweet from Piper Fizzgiggity, is that really this is a Vickyverse thing, and she's awful. Well, I'll just say this: every interaction I've ever seen her do on the internet has been kind of from a mean place, and also I don't really think she's a creator of anything. And people who can't create, they're just kind of on the outside of it. Don't trust those people. No offense, Vicky. I just don't trust you. But I'm not going to say anything uh, else about her because well, she's comparing Gemshock somehow, and then so EVS put the like up some kind of poll, and I didn't answer anything on the poll. Just like, well, what about these two? And he puts up a picture of the let's say manga inspired art, which is always going to look a bit simplistic and maybe even amateurish to some eyes, but not to mine, because I read, you know, Tezuka, who is the soul of the simplicity, of simple art. Um, I don't have a hard copy of anything Tezuka nearby. I think I gave them my other son. I probably got some Astro Boy laying around. But here's something from Tezuka's um, assistant, Ishinomori, Kamen Rider. And not the Kamen Rider that well, upside down. No, it's right side up. Not the Kamen Rider that you know. Not the modern Kamen Rider. The old Kamen Rider. And yeah, it is simplistic. That's the look of old anime art. You know? Well, look at this oh, this figure's not perfectly done, and the girls don't have huge bulbous breasts. Just knock yourself out. Where was I? I think I even have. Oh, I thought maybe I had some of the other character, the character that's like half robot. He's another cyborg character by Ishinomori, but probably don't have it. But not that I'm a. I don't know if you could call me a manga fan, although I like the original. Hold on. I like the older stuff. Like I'm reading the Life of the Buddha right now, which I think is really good. But here we are comparing what's essentially, I looked it up, 52 pages is what Gemshock is, and it's like, featuring the art of Dale Keown, and it's got this guy named Fernando who just got out of art school, according to Mandy, and so on and so forth. But it has that art style that I really do not like. Like, and so for all the people that were saying, oh, I don't like that white people should not be doing manga art or whatever, man, stop telling people what kind of art they can do. You can do any kind of art you want to. Anybody can. Anybody can do whatever they want. Just even Tezuka himself is pretty much inspired by Disney, and everyone else was inspired by Tezuka, so it's all a circle, anyways. I don't know. I don't really care. But if you had to like compare the two, um, I know one thing people are fond of saying is, well, it's a visual medium, so this one that's in color that features characters in static poses is the good one. And this one with the characters with huge, out of proportion eyes and uh, chins that end in triangles is the bad one. And I say not so fast. Because you can get used to anything. You can learn to appreciate anything. So I guess I don't understand the conflict. And also, I think it's a little unfair because we're talking about 350 pages of an epic adventure versus the other one, which looks, quite frankly, I don't want to be mean, but it looks like a lot of other books. There are a lot of other books out there that have that same look to it. And we could say, well, manga art all looks the same. I don't think it looks like that, though. The girl with the mega fist, she had these big fist looking things on it. I don't know. It's weird. So this is just another conflict going on. I grow weary of the whole thing. Of course, I open myself up to criticism whenever just by even noticing it, they're gonna go, yeah, well, your art sucks. Yours is terrible. To which I say, I'm no threat to you. I'm on a quest. The quest is for 1,000 pages. Oh, that was a bad line. The quest is for 1,000 pages, and I intend to get there at some point, somehow. Let's see how I'm doing. How many pages have I got so far? 640 something. I looked it up the other day. I'm gonna have to oh, my computer that died. I have to figure out if I put the comic tracking worksheet anywhere else. I'll have to see if what happened to it. I think it's in my OneDrive. If I take a search for it. Yeah, you know what? Oh wait, I do. I have it. I still have it. Oh. I can just tell you, it's missing. It's an older version of it. It's missing some data, but um. Oh, it ends with the sketchbook traveler story. Well, I've got quite a few more pages than that. I'll have to update it. So I do have a partial version of my spreadsheet still. I'll have to update it. I'm at close to 646, and about 146 for the year. There are no good sides when it comes to a conflict like this. In my opinion. Let me see if I can get that hand in there. But I do know a couple of things. One of those things is that story matters more than anything else. More than anything else. I don't care if you have the Lord himself come down and guest art on your book. If the story ain't there, it doesn't matter. Variant covers do not matter. Pinups do not matter. None of that stuff matters. There is no, I don't really even believe there is a quote unquote comics industry anymore. I think it's already gone. It's already gone. Um, all right, let's see if we can steady up on some of those. All right, that's looking good. All right, there's my sequence here. Hang on. He gets grabbed. He snaps his neck. He's going to kill this one zombie right here. I would have liked to have been able to draw more gooder during the era of the black and white boom. I think that would have been a good era for me. Truth is, I probably could have pulled off the art, but I don't think I could have pulled off the discipline back then. I think that's what I got right now. It's pretty good. That's not a good line right here. The other thing I'm missing is his gun belt. So let's fix that. And what I was going to talk about today, I guess I could still talk about it. By the way, neither EVS nor Tyler, in this case, probably neither one knows who I am or cares, so that's fine. And neither is the next guy I'm going to talk about, which is there was a video I saw posted today by Scott Circlin from Circworks saying, "Stop marketing to other artists. Stop it. Just stop marketing to other artists because um, that's not who the real audience is, or whatever else." But you make some good points there. I think it's obviously true, but it seems to be, and maybe I'm just unaware. There is no scene anymore. This is the thing. There's no, there's no like massive, you know, comic scene anymore with people who really are into caring about comics. I just don't think it's there. So to build the scene, you do have to market to other artists. In fact, they're the only ones you have to market to so that they can create the enthusiasm. And hopefully one or two standouts will appear so that once again we would have occasionally, or eventually rather, Let's see what it look like. You know, we would eventually have, real fandom, real craze and mania. I think Comicsgate is the closest thing to it. I think it really is. And as I've said before, on many of occasion, but not really been understood, is that spiritually, I think I am definitely part of Comicsgate. Certainly, I've supported enough of the campaigns, and I am a believer in the spirit of the thing, both to create market directly, to respect the customer, to um, reject the sort of cultural colonization, the sort of woke imperialism. She comes in and just wants to squat on everything. There's not a lot of space for guys like me, though. Is what I'm thinking. I'm on the older side, and I really care about my stories and my characters and my world, and I don't hire, ringers. I don't believe in hiring, uh, you know, the same cats that are getting hired over and over again to do comics that, you know, quite frankly, these things are getting farmed out to teams. How much can you care if it doesn't really belong to you? I mean, it just seems like. I will also freely admit I think that there is no chance of truly competing with somebody who's really worked as a pro in the industry. I think there's like zero chance. You're gonna get beaten. Bottom line. And we've got Mike Barron and Chuck Dixon writing stuff for crowdfunded comics at this point. Um, Technically, although I haven't even backed it, you've got J.M.D. Mateus doing a comic with um, Tom Mandrake, right? One of my Kubert school teachers and formerly known quite well for Swamp Thing, among other things. Oh, I definitely got to figure out how to fake in a background for this. So what does it come down to? It comes down to you can tell a more compelling story. That's something where you can really live on a at least a more even keel, I think, because every writer does it a bit differently, and it's not like art where people have been conditioned to only like a certain type of story. Every writer writes a specific type of story, and we can even acknowledge that writers that are really good can only tell a story that's like as if they wrote it. Stephen King can only write Stephen King stories. That's what I'm saying there. So what do you get when you get a non Stephen King story? Well, you get whatever that artist is putting in. I think the same is true for art, but people are a lot more parochial about what they're willing to accept, which is too bad. I remember when Bill Sienkiewicz started doing New Mutants, he was a very controversial figure, at least in my high school, because he didn't look like anybody else. He didn't have the same kind of look. He certainly did not have the, superhero house style of anybody else at Marvel. You can find today, you show them people picture of Jack Kirby art, the king, and they'll go, "Oh, what is this? I don't understand this." They don't understand it until somebody in the know kind of takes them aside and go, "That was the king." Same with Ditko. I think it's a lot easier for them to disrespect Ditko too. Which reminds me, there's another really good video out there today, um, which has to do with Ditko inking Kirby. Actually, and I have some of the reprints that they were showing on Kayfabe of the first couple of issues of Hulk. They're in the Marvel Masterworks, and I think they're in um, there's like a Marvel Epic collection, which shows some of these early stories. All right, how do we handle this hand? His thumb has got to be, well, his thumb is going to be behind. But, Ed Piskor's kind of pointing it out, and he goes, "This is the," you can see Ditko all through this, and you look and hey, he's right. Definitely in the figures. Ditko certainly had a way of drawing the figure. Whoops. Anyways, I probably offended half of Twitter at this point. Let's see. Why is this zombie so buff? All right, let's take a look. Pencil. Well, we've got two arms, two arms. I've probably got to fake in some kind of background. Well, that came out worse than I thought it would. There we go. All right, I'm taking a look. Got the big robot hand back here. I don't like the idea of setting the horizon line kind of at the midpoint. I'd rather have it either low or high. High is a bad, can't do the high horizon, I think, at this point. So I'm gonna have to do it kind of at the 1/3 mark. I think I have a tree in here somewhere. There's still those sticky bush trees that I can put in. There's probably a lot I can do with that. How about this? Hang on. Or if I need to tear up his sleeves a little bit more too. He's supposed to have his sleeves almost ready to tear off here. Anyways, so I didn't like this comparison, especially when you consider that Tyler, whatever his name was, is pretty much a single creator, and we're talking about 350 pages. That's a significant accomplishment, in my opinion. It means something. What is going on here? I'm in the right layer. Oh, maybe it's the stylus. People get so defensive and nasty about stuff, which they really should. There's no point. All right. And I'm always tempted to say, well, what do I know? Oh, what's going on there? This is higher than that. I know that he's fighting near the robot hand that's in previous page. So it's this hand. It's got to be here. I like the idea of maybe putting it there. So, all right, what have we got? We should have some prickly pear cactus right here. Maybe something like that. This is looking a little bit garbagey right now. We'll figure it out. All right. Probably not obvious that that's part of the hand, but it might also just read as just junk. They're supposed to be in a field filled with junk, like old robots and stuff, and junked machinery and all overgrown with weeds and cactuses and stuff. I would love to put something in this foreground, but I don't know what. Okay. Okay, we're getting close to there. Something. Let's do a speech bubble. There we go, just like Grandma used to make. Let's get back out of that layer before I mess it up. Okay. And I'm always perplexed what to do in the background here. I could kind of fake in this distant horizon. As long as I'm using really thin lines. And then what do we do over here? I don't have anything in the pencils for that corner. I could put another zombie. Let's say another zombie is like right here or something like that. So use a thicker line. This is why you ink the closest stuff first. Because you can set the line weight, then everything else can be based off of that. It's much harder to go back and sort of fake everything else afterwards. It's a giant nutsack here. I have to put an ear in. It's got an ear. And we can even do a really subtle contour line. Kind of sells the idea that we've got some depth in the depth field of view. Let's do a tree over here. It's like a bush, like a sticky bush. Like a mesquite bush or something. Oh, I was using the wrong brush. No wonder. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, Peter. All right. I think we're on the right track. For right now, and I'll probably go and continue to work on this. I think we're getting close to where we want to be for page 14. So I'll continue to work on this, and then I'll probably get to start working on page 15. And hopefully we'll get to the end of this comic, this story anyways. I had originally envisioned it as 16 pages long. And you never know, man. We get to the end of it. I'm gonna do some grass here. I guess the fun thing about these zombies' heads is they could be prickly pear cactuses, but not necessarily. All right. Like, follow, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Rabbit Fighter. I do a video every day. I'm on a quest to complete 1,000 pages. I'm at 646. I'm going to spend the next couple of hours trying to um, figure out how to update my comic tracking worksheet. And I will see you later. Oh, come on.